Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I'm the CakeDive, and I hope you guys are doing well because today we are coming back and talking about Normani. Because if y'all remember, I discussed Normani last month. It's been a month or so since I did the first episode talking about her ahead of the release of her first single off Dopamine. Well, now it's second single, 159. Before the song even dropped, giving you guys my thoughts on, the previous singles that Normani's had, the album rollout at that moment in time, and just random thoughts on the artist and how I felt about how people were treating her and reacting to a lot of things that were happening in, for the years that we've had singles and false starts with this album rollout. And now at the time we're recording, we've gotten a new song. We have more details about the album. We have a little bit more exposure to what this rollout is looking like, and I wanted to do an episode giving you guys my thoughts on both songs that we've gotten, um, the album rollout as it stands right now, and how people have been reacting to it, of course, because I'm always talking about how other people are reacting to things because that's always fascinating to me. So let's start with the song. So Dopamine is coming in like a couple of weeks now, which is kind of crazy that we are slowly but surely counting down the days to the debut album of Normani. It's crazy because a lot of people were making jokes about how we were never going to get a debut album from her, but it's almost here. And we've had 159, and we just got Candy Paint. Um, 159 was the debut single off the album. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, like I don't like the track. Like the track is very meh." Like a lot of people were taking and leaving the track. I personally really enjoyed the track, and it has also grown with me over time. I remember when I first listened, my first impressions was that I was not feeling Gunna's verse on that song, and I could take it or leave it, but I really wanted to leave it. But as time has gone on, I definitely appreciate the verse, and I think that it was a reasonable start for the album, um, in terms of what the giving us a taste as to what the vibe is. And a lot of people were not getting it. A lot of people were dragging her. You know, a lot of the bloggers and the Twitter pages, especially the pop tings people need to come to the floor because for some reason people starting to okay. It's very obvious that the pop tings people, or at least someone who's on the pop tings side of things, might be Barb's. And what I realized in between the release of my last episode on Normani and like now is that I was shocked that a lot of Barb's have like a lot of animosity for Normani, and I was kind of at first I was like, what's going on here? Because Normani hasn't said anything bad about Nicki Minaj. In fact, everyone talks about people use that video of Normani like giving Nicki Minaj an award at I think one of the Billboard Awards, if I remember correctly. That's probably not it, but at an award show, giving her a lot of love in like videos praising Nicki Minaj. So like, where's this hate coming from? You gotta put two and two together, guys. Wildside featuring Cardi B, of course, because no one can collaborate with Cardi B without there being some drama or some animosity against Nicki Minaj, even if she's not brought up. Um, so I was kind of shocked that there's like it's very strange to me that there's just a lot of hatred and stuff to her, like she's done anything. Like Normani has not done anything, so like, and people make fun of the fact that she hasn't done anything. So it's kind of like, but okay. Um, Speaking of Wildside, Entertainment Weekly revealed like today at the time of recording that Wildside's gonna be on the album, and that's very much interesting to me. Like I could take it or leave it because on one hand, it's like okay, this is like a 2 3 year old track that is now hitting this album. Like, is that not crazy? But on the other hand, The article also details, and it's also very obvious that like Normani has been trying to develop this album for years at this point, and obviously like there's tracks that you will metamorphosize into an album. You know, there like people there is a whole like albums worth of songs that were leaked that are not being released anymore. So of course like she's gonna try to pick some of the more recent hits that she's released in the pack. And for me, I'm also willing to let her like I'm gonna let her have that on there because one, Wildside is the hit that got away. Well, I thought it was a hit, but for others, people thought that it didn't do well. So it's kind of a hit that got away, but it's a hit. It was a hit in my house, that's for sure. It was one of the second. It's the second to last like single that she put out before like a very extended hiatus before she came back into the dopamine rollout. So like it was this unfair, and it would be one thing if it was like, oh, she was consistently releasing music between that time, like what Cardi B has been doing, and she was just like, because I remember years back, Cardi B was like, oh, on the second album, I'm gonna put WAP and stuff on there, even though it's been several years since WAP had came out. Um, in that moment, especially because Cardi B has been consistently releasing music, it's kind of like, no, we can't be doing that. At your age, we cannot be doing that. With the second album, we can't be doing that. But with Normani, especially because this is her debut album, and there was a good year or two gap between 159 and Candy Paint compared to Fair and Wildside. I'll let her have it. Especially because of the fact that Wildside seems to tonally fit with the sound of what this album's gonna give, especially with, after hearing 159 and Candy Paint. So 159 works. It works for me, and I think it's a good song. I know other people were not feeling it, but other people were taking it or leaving it, but I'm taking it. I think it's a good song. Wildside is a good song. If you listen to my previous episode, I would gush over that song down. Like, it is a really good track. And Candy Paint, since that is officially out, I listened to it. I also listened to it when the leaks came out. Full disclosure, but it is as good as I've heard for the past couple of years. It is a hit for sure, and I think that a lot of people like that track because it's very up tempo and boom pop esque. And I know that a lot of the quote unquote fans that are dragging and criticizing Normani, for doing R&B, the girls that want the R&B artists, the girls who love R&B or R&B adjacent sounds to do pop, this is as close to motivation as you will ever get probably from her going forward. So I think that the girls are probably going to gush over this now. But it's a good song. It's a fun song. I definitely can see myself like dancing to this in the mirror, dancing to this, or like listen to this in the gym. Like, it is a staple. Like, it's a summer song for sure. And then we get to the rollout. The rollout is very strange for this album, and I kind of hinted at it in the last episode, but it's definitely very obvious here in this episode because we had the album announcement, which was cute. Then there was like silence for a month or so. People were like, "Where's the single at? What's the single gonna be?" And then she was like, "Guys, the first single off the album is gonna be 159, and it debuts like a month from now, in like I think April." We didn't hear anything about the single for like she kind of did some soft things, some social media promo on her end about promoting the single. Then the single then she did like the YouTube premiere of the single, and the girls were trying to make fun of her for doing the premiere of the single, and like low numbers of people like waiting for the premiere to start. Then there was the release. People like she announced like she like, oh, like 159 is out, and Dopamine drops in June. Gave us the date, which was the gag. Like, that's iconic. Like, yes, we are here for it. She gave us what we wanted here. We wanted the date of the album, and we have it. The girls was dragging the song because some of the girls were not feeling the song. The girls was dragging the numbers. I was seeing as I touched on earlier in the episode, and probably like stopped elaborating on, a lot of the blogs and stuff and the Twitter pages were talking about the numbers and saying that the numbers were low. The first day numbers were pretty strong, especially for, you know, the lack of like music video and promo and stuff, and then just kind of disappeared. The song didn't chart. I don't believe that the song didn't chart. Again, I'm not really a charts follower unless I have to bring up the charts. And then out of nowhere we get what she called the first dose of dopamine, which was the album trailer for, this album. And baby, that was an iconic trailer. And the trailer has actually gotten a lot of attention. It's actually been very successful and has been getting more like views. I think it got more views on YouTube alone in like the couple of weeks that it's been out compared to what 159 has gotten on YouTube. In that trailer, it was iconic because it gave us a very cohesive feel of what Normani's going for with this album. She gave us a lot of homages to like Spike Lee and stuff in here. She gave us a tease of what is very likely the 159 music video with Gunna we're gonna get, which looks cute. Like, I'm ready for it. She gave us some of that like fierce action when she did that leg kick and jumped on that dude. Like, I was like, ooh, whoa. Like, she really ate that. And then she gave us the tease of Candy Paint, which, I was excited for, even though we've heard that same teaser for a while. I could tell that the production on it was definitely a little bit different compared to where we got when we heard the snippets of it from, like, the fair release party. So, it definitely sounded slightly different, but still sounded like much the same. Then we got the song Candy Paint surprise dropped. It dropped like people woke up, and I woke up and opened Twitter in the morning, and I saw like, oh, Candy Paint is out now in New Zealand. I'm like, wait a damn minute. I'm like, the song dropping today, and everyone was like, oh, like Candy Paint by Normani is dropping midnight locally. First of all, this is the second song that Normani is dropping like midnight locally. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why these artists nowadays are doing midnight locally drops, because Beyonce did the same thing with Cowboy Carter, and people were like, oh, like the song leaked, and Ice Spice is doing the same thing. I don't know if this is just a new standard that like labels are doing, but it kind of kills me a little bit. Because I am someone who's like, oh, like if everyone's streaming it, like I want to stream it too. I remember when Candy Paint dropped, and I found out people were listening to it in New Zealand. I was like, Rachel, send it to me, please. I'm like, let me listen to this now, please. And I had to wait all the way until like 11 o'clock Central Time to stream the song legally. Not even to stream it legally, because I wasn't even streaming it illegally. Like, mind you, I don't stream illegally like that for real. Only time, FBI agent and those listening to this, the only times I listen to a song in an informal way is if like a leak pops up on Twitter or something like that. Like, I'm not digging through listening to leaks like that. And with this song, like, we've had the leaks or like snippets of this song. Like, we've had an official snippet of it played with like the Bose collab that Normani did. Then we had the leaks from like the release party when Fair came out, and some of the different snippets and like the demo that came out. So like, it's been out before. But I was looking for this up and down. I was like, where is it? But her team did a good job making sure that, those that wanted to listen to it, listen to it at their right time zone, because that's what I did at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time yesterday. Like, I tuned in, and the song is cute, and it's about to be the hit. And Normani also did a post, saying like, oh, like, I wanted to give y'all this song, to kick off my birthday, because it's her birthday today at the time of recording. Happy birthday, Normani. And she's like, y'all know the visuals are coming, like, bear with me. So we know that visuals are coming, and that's really all there is to it. She locked the comments up on Instagram, because everybody about to, like, again, people are mean and have been trying to drag her for real. And obviously, like, for me, like, it's kind of funny that she did that, but I also kind of get it. Like, if it's me giving y'all a surprise release, I'm assuming this was a surprise release to kick off her birthday. Like, that just seems to be the thing. If I'm giving y'all a surprise release for my birthday, y'all, I know y'all gonna cut up. Like, I'm gonna like the comments too, because like I'm not trying to deal with that on my day. So there's that. I mean, we know there's visuals coming. I'm very curious what these visuals are gonna be. Like, some part of me is like, oh, like it might just be the music video for 159 and the music video for Candy Paint, but also part of me, the way that it's like there's delays in terms of the release of these visuals, like it's leading me to believe that we're getting some sort of like visual album thing or something, and I'm like, ooh, if that is the case, that would be the gag. Like that would be iconic, truly. Like she would really gag the live if she was just like, oh, Dopamine is out and the visual album is coming out too. Like that would be kind of nuts, especially for someone's debut album to like do that with. Like that would truly be like a, oh, like she is not playing around. Like she is here to stay truly. And I think Normani truly is here to stay at the end of things. Like people will make fun of her, people will make jokes about this, and people like these jokes aren't gonna stop. Like people are gonna make fun about how long it took Normani to release her debut album, and people are gonna make fun about this rollout for like the end of days, truly, like until the Earth goes out because of climate change. So I'm not expecting any shifts on that, but I think that people will probably be appreciating this album. I think it's definitely going to be something that's going to be a conversation starter when it comes out. And again, as I said this in the previous episode, I am really excited for this body of work. I'm really excited that we're finally getting a full body of work from Normani. And I'm also excited to see what her next project following up will be like. Because the sophomore project will always be different than the first. And I'm excited to see, where the trajectory of her career and how she chooses to follow up Dopamine after this for sure. Because, the new girls don't get a lot of grace. But, they are still working to put out very, interesting artistic bodies of work. And I'm always going to support it, truly, period. But that is all from me. Oh, if I had to give ratings for these songs, let's see. So Candy Paint, I'll give it you know what? If I had to rank them, I'll say Wildside, Candy Paint, 159. And I will say 159 is probably like a 7, maybe even a 7.5. It's a good song, but it's a good song from Normani in terms of like her R&B sound, but it's not really anything special. I feel like again there's been better R&B songs out there. But I definitely think it's a good start, a good like lead, not really lead single, but like a good single to like start off with the album Rollout. Candy Paint I would give like an 8.5 because no, I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9 because it is a cute song. Like it is boom pop down. Like it is up tempo, fun. Like it is a cute song. It's really the biggest issue is like it's really short and there's not really like a bridge. Like this is kind of giving TikTok boots and like TikTok slop almost. And I mean, we don't have to make everything for TikTok now, do we? But Normani, this is definitely a TikTok song from Normani, so I'm not really shocked, but it's still a good song. And then I would say Wildside is definitely like that 9.5, like 10. Like it is really I would say that it's one of Normani's best songs. And it definitely makes sense why she's holding on to this and putting this on Dopamine allegedly, according to Entertainment Weekly. Now she could change it up last minute. We don't know. We still don't have the final track list for this album. But that is what we're hearing. That is what Entertainment Weekly said. I'm going to link the article in the description of YouTube below. And that is all I got. So let me know in the comments how y'all feel about the single, how y'all feel about the rollout, how y'all feel about the visuals that we've gotten. Everything, like, it seems very consistent. I feel like the biggest issue is just like, oh, like, we aren't getting, like she's giving us a promo run, too. Like, she's doing, every time she's dropping a single, she's been dropping, like, a video with, like, Elle or Cosmo, doing like fun videos and stuff like that too. So it's not, and she's doing interviews and stuff too. She's doing, the magazines and stuff too. So it's like she's giving us a rollout. I think that people are just having issue with the actual rollout of the music, particularly. Like these songs are like we're not getting teasers like we used to get with the like the previous singles that we've gotten from like the pre dopamine era. Um, we're not getting music videos immediately like we've gotten with um, you know, Motivation and Wildside and the other songs that she's dropped. So I think that a lot of people want her to do more, and I definitely want her to do more too. It's kind of odd that she's like not like the rollout is like odd purely on the music front. However, again, like she is doing the things that she needs to promote the album elsewhere outside of music. Like she's doing the interviews, she's doing the videos, she's doing the collab, she's doing everything that she needs to do on that front. So I'm just waiting for her to drop this album. I'm excited to see what these visuals are gonna give, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Y'all probably will be hearing from me talk about Normani again when the album comes out. So let me know in the comments of YouTube again, like if you. Let's circle back. I'll circle back on that part at the end. But again, this has been the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Cake Radio Podcast as much as I enjoy making them. I hope you guys are doing really well. If you want to listen to these episodes before anybody else, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Cake Radio Show and drop a like in the comments and a comment in the description below, like what you thought about these singles, what you're thinking about this rollout, and if you want me to do another episode talking about dopamine when the album comes out. Let me know if you want me to do like a live stream ranking the songs, or like just a standard episode giving you guys my thoughts on everything as I've done before. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platforms, I love you guys so much. Be sure to subscribe or follow the podcast wherever you're listening to this on podcast. And, give the show a really strong rating because it certainly helps. And that's all I got. I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.